What a portentous week on the political calendar it is, as political bigwigs flex their muscle in a show of might and main in the upcoming by-elections on Thursday. A contest that is widely touted as a bellwether and a harbinger of political landscape in 2022 general election. In Kabuchai and Matungu wards in Western region, eyes are trained on Deputy President William Ruto, ODM leader Raila Odinga and Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi as their candidates face off in the polls. The upshot of the two by-elections will be crucial for Ruto's presidential bid, as it will be a dipstick gauge of his penetration in the region ahead of the 2022 general election. And two candidates also pulled out of the London ward by-elections in Nakuru in favor of a Jubilee Party aspirant on the last day of campaigns. This will be a nail-biting race between UDA and the Jubilee Party. Plus, Jubilee Party Vice Chair David Murathe has threatened to evict the Deputy President from his official residence in Karen. Does he and the Jubilee Party have any lordly right to do so? That is a probing question. And what are the provisions of the Constitution about this? Is it silent and mealy-mouthed altogether? This is Punchline.
Oburu alikuwa akisema kwamba wameamua watu wapende wasipende. ODM inasema Raila atakuwa kwa ballot.
Wana haki, sio wao peke yao. Kila Mkenya ana haki ya kuwania kiti ya urais kwa tikiti ya chama cha ODM.
Sasa ikiwa ndugu ya Raila anasema kwamba ni lazima Raila awe kwa ballot ya presidency, sasa mimi nauliza, ni kwa nini walikuwa wakiambia Oparanya na wengine wafanye application na tayari wameamua kwamba candidate wa ODM atakuwa Raila Amolo Odinga?
Kenya is a multi-party democracy, and we want to have national political parties.
Usikubali mtu mwingine atuchezee. Tumechoka bwana. Tumechoka.
Sisi kwanza tufikirie shida zao kabla tufikirie mambo ya kutumia mabilioni ya pesa katika hizo zingine. Basi mimi nikaandika barua, lakini mimi kuandika barua nikarushwa nje.
Wanapinga BBI. Ati wanasema hataki BBI wakati huu. Sasa tumeona kama wameanza kuogopa. Nasema wanasema no pale, sisi tuseme yes, tukurana na wewe kwa debe.
Waache kumsukuma Ruto. Biashara ya BBI sio yake. So waendelee wafanye. Ruto tayari ashachukua line. Anatafuta urais. Whether with BBI or without BBI, with the new constitution ama the current constitution, Ruto anatafuta kiti cha urais.
Aseme no sio? Aseme no, wangapi wanasema aseme no niende kwa ngome.
Nyinyi watu ya BBI, Hustler Nation iko na bigger agendas for this country. We have no time for BBI.
Wewe mwenyewe uko ndani ya serikali. Na serikali ni wewe. Na Uhuru ndio serikali. Na wewe unajiita serikali.
Wanataka kutoa deputy president katika nyumba yake ya serikali pale Karen. Nataka kumwambia walianza kutesa deputy president for the last 3 years. Wakachukua kazi yake, wakachukua mali yake, wakafuga marafiki yake mpaka Dede Nyoro na bado tuko. Sasa nyinyi mnafikiria kufuga nyumba itazuia hawa mahasra kufuata William Ruto kweli?
Of course, those were intrigues on the political arena as far as this past week is concerned. And we have our guest in studio that we are going to slice and dice this particular conversation on what will be happening on Thursday and a raft of other issues as far as the political scene is concerned. I want just to introduce our guest this evening, Farah Maalim, who is the deputy party leader of the Wiper Party. We have Jeremiah Kioni, who is a member of parliament from Deragwa and also the chair of CRC in Parliament. We have Jacome Dio, who is a former member of Parliament of GEM, and also joining us all the way from Bomet. This is Isaac Ruto, who is the chairman of Chama Cha Mashinani, if we can just also see as a recruiter as well. Momentarily we'll get him. We're trying to just put our ducks in a row there, so we'll also have him on this conversation and continue with the subject that we have, the BBI. And we know also that particular sentiment from Dini Nyoro, and we had also the vice chair of the Jubilee Party, David Mrathe, now threatening to evict the Deputy President from his current residence. So we want just to talk about this and a raft of other issues, and we welcome also your comments on Twitter. Remember, you can use the hashtag Punchline. Our Twitter handle is at K24. All right, let's continue with the conversation apace and hear from our panelists this evening. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. And we have seen it's been very heightened over the weekend as far as the political rhetoric is concerned, especially from Gatanga, and the by-election is upcoming as well on Thursday. That also will be a very key, significant moment for the political, shiftings of, and realignment, and knowing whether somebody has a strength in this particular region or that particular region. For that matter, we're talking about Nakuru, we're talking about the western region also, and also from the eastern region as well. But let's just begin with the Daragwa Member of Parliament, Jeremiah Kioni, because I want us to begin with the BBI, first of all, because yes, today also, the latest development is that Elgeyo Marakwet has declined and rejected this particular bill. So that has gone down the tubes, joining Bomet and Nandi so far. Did you expect this?
Oh yeah, I think what is certain is that we've been, it's not surprising to get counties rejecting. What is surprising is to get the kind of numbers that we've gotten approving the BBI document. So while of course it would be nice to get everybody say yes to the document, I think it is also good to recognize that they have exercised their mind on the document and they think it is not a good document, and that of course sets the stage for a referendum.
But everyone is expecting, and people were expecting at least, given that we had Baringo, everything will be smooth sailing for the other counties as it were. What does it really say for the BBI proponents as far as the Rift Valley region is concerned?
Well, we have to explain it to the people in Rift Valley. I hope we could, it could have been done without heightened political activities for 2022. But all said and done, we will try and explain it to them. We will try and sell the document to them. We will try and see whether we can get them to see the advantages that this document has for all Kenyans, including those from the Rift Valley region. Because the county rejection is just a stage. The people's initiative, the popular initiative, there are quite a number of stages that we have to go through. What has happened is that we have those who are against the document going ahead of the document to tell people to reject it, even before we go to the stage of campaigning for the document. But now with the County Assembly having done their bit, I'm sure there are a few more left, 1 or 2, 3 maybe left, and Parliament likely to do their bit in the coming 2 weeks. Then that means that now we are at the stage where others had gotten way ahead of us, talking to Kenyans of what are the benefits of the BBI.
Thank you.
And I believe that when we do that, even where we have the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet rejecting it, we should be able to convince the populace that it is a good document for them also. And I expect that the good people of the county of Elgeyo Marakwet will pass the document during the referendum.
All right, they've already done that, of course. No, we know they've. You said Bomet passed. Baringo is the one who shot it down. Yes,
Jacob, I thought you have just told me that they have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joining the three. Jacob,
but I thought Bomet passed it.
Bomet did.
Yes. So
your
earlier pronouncement was insinuated that Bomet rejected it.
I meant Baringo.
You meant Baringo.
Yes.
Okay. So that we are not arguing about nothing. The document is passed. The document is supported by majority of Kenyans. Remember the other time when in 2010, We were told dogs will marry human beings, men will marry men. We were told all kinds of things.
Yes.
And the same region voted differently. But I think they are now biggest beneficiaries. If some of these politicians from that region were not importing maize and fertilizers, don't you think it would be very nice in that region if they were enjoying devolution? We are just adding to them. I hope we don't discriminate against them, because I think ignorance is no defense to the law.
Right.
We will do them right by the law. They will benefit like somebody in Mandera and somebody in Mombasa, somebody in Game, somebody wherever.
So why are you wrapping up the entire rejection on ignorance? Could it also be a political statement that is being sent from these particular counties?
No, I don't think it's a political statement. I think it's about people being misinformed.
Okay, leave it at that. Let's hear from Farah Maalim. You think they are misinformed as it is?
I don't think any efforts has been made by any sections of the society to either popularize this document or to depopularize it. I doubt if there was any. I think this has just been hush-hush and individuals, small groups and the rest of it. And basically what you call the herd instinct. The herd instinct in the sense that certain regions welcomed it, like my region and many other regions. And certain regions are reading the political dynamics in this thing, and it's all about politics for them. They're not looking at the finer details of this document to see what is in it for them, where is the problem, what is going to be the end result of this thing, how will it play out. Those things are not there. You see, when we had the constitution that was passed in 2010, we took a deliberate effort ourselves to sit in town halls, to go to mosques, churches, to go to everywhere, and literally to sit in there to be asked questions by the people, and we answered them. Progressively, until those who were not for the idea were mainly not for the idea because of politics, and only one issue. Ruto led that group. Of course, there were many who were what you call watermelon, but Ruto was the one who came out into the open to.
Who are the many?
Well, many. I mean, even the president was not very categorical in his position on that. Yeah, our current president, Uhuru, he took a bit of a low profile on that. I mean, it's common knowledge. I mean, we're not living in the 60s when you see white and you think the government is on the side of the black, you still call the white black. we have to say, well, call a spade a spade. So, but you see, but
you can see Farah is very careful not to really mention
at that time
as a watermelon.
Well, you could say that also. Indeed, yes. But then let me now tell you, there was one person who was very vociferous, very outspoken, and aggressively opposed to it. And that person was doing it only for one reason. For the very simple reason, why should you have the Islamic courts in the constitution? That was Ruto. The whole idea was that if you cannot have the Christians in the constitution, then we cannot have the Muslims also in the constitution. And here were us and many other people, including our former president and Raila and the rest of them, saying Christians do not have a codified code. There is no code. Islam has a code. It regulates everything. In any case, it's not the final appellate thing. It is for the Muslims, basically, what you call the family law, inheritance, marriage, and divorce. So to object to it those days in itself was, for lack of a better word, exactly like the statement he made the other day, oh, Kenya is a Christian nation and we have no apologies to make. It was trying to play basically what Trump plays, to try and appeal to the majority of the country, hoping that you can carry them the way Trump is carrying the Christian right now in America, who also are the racist right, you know what I mean? So in a sense, this time around, nobody was out there to either popularize it or depopularize it. And everybody seems to say is taken sides on the basis of the politics. The bulk of the people who want this thing to go through and who support it, shell-shocked and scared stiff of a possibility of a Ruto presidency. Let me tell you one thing more than anything else, of a Ruto presidency. You get my point? And I happen to be one of those ones myself. I mean, I've thought of all sorts of nightmares in this country, but the one that essentially is a serious nightmare to me, and I am entitled to my own opinion, because I've known all these politicians, we're all together there, is that. So,
but a nightmare is such a strong
It's a nightmare in the sense, it's a very strong. I'm using it. I'm using it because this country needs people who build bridges. This country needs people who make peace. This country needs people who reach out to everybody. This country does not need somebody who goes out there and says, Kenya is a Christian nation and I have no apologies to make. Well, no. I mean, that scares the hell out of everybody. Yeah, that's... Yes.
Okay, well, we will be momentarily also joining Isaac Ruto to also give his sentiments as well. They're still trying to set up, of course, his camera for, well, all the way from Bomet and continue with the conversation. But let me just circle back to you, Jeremiah Kioni, because what Farah is raising also is a serious indictment as well, talking about nightmare. But I wanted to see and take also your thoughts, because we've heard from Ndidi Nyoro saying, you know, they're not interested in the BBI. And we've been trying to also see if we'll have a no campaign from the Ruto side. But it seems they are not interested at all. So what really happens to the entire process? Of course, we know a referendum is either yes or no. You cannot just go with yes. In what situation are we in?
Allow me to just say that the 2010 Constitution, we were in it, and by coincidence, the three of us were members of the 10th Parliament, the one that delivered the 2010 Constitution, and we all played different roles. All of us were in the yes teams, and we had our movements with the people, both at the, like he said, in the mosque, the churches, in all these social gatherings. We had our own political gatherings and the rest. And the clarification that I want to make is that the president today, President Uhuru Kenyatta, was actually the leader of our yes campaign from a political side of the divide. And I don't want to agree with that statement from my then Deputy Speaker that he was anything else other than supportive of the process. And I believe that is why it was clear to him, just like it was clear to the Prime Minister.
No, I did not say about Kibaki.
I talked about Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay. Well, okay.
I know it's a little late in the hour, just in case Farah is going off. I'll do the waking up.
He's my friend.
But, but I was saying that the president, our current president, Uhuru Kenyatta,
even my party leader was said to have been not coming out very strongly in support of the Constitution.
He got the label, which is, and
so
you struggle with these labels.
Continue.
He led our yes campaign, and I was saying that it was clear to him some of the areas that required to be amended, but we were at a time when we needed to deliver a document then, and we delivered what we have today. This is why it was easy for him and the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga, for me to quickly pick the issues that were left, requires to be addressed. Not all of them are in the BBI, but they highlighted them, meaning that we have another, we will continue, those who will be in power will continue having faces, and I think it is only fair that we give them the credit. I personally, I can tell you that even to agree on what is now in the BBI, for the two leaders, given that we know how difficult it was, again, during 2010, because they were still the actors. Uhuru this side, Raila Amolo this side, Uhuru, of course, having been given that role by the president then Kibaki. For them to have come up with a document that they are now telling Kenyans to accept, that's a great achievement that we must recognize. But on the same note, let me also say this. It's amazing that the deputy president said no to that document. And when we left Naivasha, and he was the
leader of government business.
He was he was the whip.
No, also the leader of government.
And okay, then because we had the Grand Coalition government, we left Naivasha. 27 of us having said given the circumstances that are prevailing, this document is good for this country. We all said we are going to support it. But somewhere between the Muru and Naivasha, somewhere maybe near Sokomujinga, the DP said no, and he became the leader of the no campaign. And there he is now, a deputy president. Under our constitution, he said no to. We now have amended, because you remember we said that 20% of this will require to be addressed along the way. We have addressed a bit of it, not the 20%. And even in the amending, a bit of what we thought needed to be amended then at Naivasha, and we agreed on it, again, the deputy president has said no. And my fear as a Kenyan and as a leader is this: how would it then be possible for you to want to manage a country with a constitution that you have completely rejected? Absolutely. In its original form and even in its amended form? This is something that we must discuss as Kenyans, because to me, it is very dangerous. You may just get into office and say, remember, I rejected this 2010, I have rejected the amendments, I am now going to organize this constitution, this country and another constitution. That is my fear, that we may just get into a new constitution order, because in the event that the DP becomes the president of this country, he will quickly want to tell us.
I need to rope in Jacob Dio, but you need also to tell us, you as the chair of the CIOC and your predecessors as well, Abdikadir, who was also chairing the same particular committee, you seem to have failed Kenyans in a way in implementing this constitution. For the last 10 good years, we're still talking about the committees and shaking it into place. Nothing has really come forth from that particular committee. You will tell us more about that, but let's just hear from Jacob Dio.
Those committees, their life should have come to lapse with this current parliament. So I would want you to put my friend Jeremiah into a bit of task to explain, because those are committees whose times are not recognized in the law. But I also agree with my friend Farah Wakili that history, you can't change history 20 years later. People who refused to implement constitution generally included everybody Farah mentioned. So I want to absolve him from the blames of my friend Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a very close friend, too close to me. But what I wanted to say, see, these things Dindi Nyoro was saying, even what Musalia said, all those things, they have no place in the 21st century, because even the constitution we are trying to change has taken care of it. You can stand on your own, you can do your things. Dindi Nyoro says they don't care. But they have spent 2 good years, three, telling Kenyans that things in the constitution are wrong. Now they're saying they don't, because just after they have lost, they're telling Kenyans that they don't care about. What do they care about? What do they want? To go and keep stealing because their Tanga group is basically publicly convicted, even if the courts can be manipulated. We know that you cannot be a deputy president when you disrespect the president. And William Ruto has done so. So that when Murade says he will evict him, I wouldn't go that far, but you know, the consequences must be met. Okay. Something must give. And William Ruto cannot be our president, because we are all very scared about him. Why? Because somebody who eats the cow and the child and does not leave us with the milk, it's not somebody we want to look up to. Because look at what William has done. I want to say something here that you can confirm tomorrow if you already don't know about it. William took a loan from KCB Bank and used.
All right, I think...
I am the one who can be criminalized, not you.
I know. But I think that will be a good point to also take a short break so that we can circle back with that. Yeah, a good point. Jacob Midio, I'll pick up with you on the other side of the break.
You have also to
just hold on to it.
A right to reply to you from what you accuse
Yes, and
me
we're
of.
still trying also to get in touch with Isaac Ruto all the way from Bomet. And also you should be chiming in as well. He says, I couldn't stomach Uhuru, Raila ganging up against DP. And that's why he's supporting the DP as it is right now. Don't go away, we circle back with more. You're watching Punchline.